Hello, good day. So we're now with the second type of variation, which is called the inverse variation. Okay, so when we say inverse variation, that is denoted by y is equal to k over x. So that is actually y varies inversely as x, where k is the constant of variation. So as x increases, y decreases. As x decreases, y increases. So whenever there is an increasing effect, then there will be the opposite of that. So see, if there's one is increasing, then the other one will be decreasing. And if the first quantity, a certain thing decreases, then the other increases. Okay, so there are many situations that we can use inverse variation, especially in our everyday living. Okay, so let us have our sample problem number 1 here. So the number of hours required to finish a certain job varies inversely as the number of persons on the job. If 8 persons required 9 hours to finish the job, how long should it take for 24 hours? So this is a good example of inverse variation that has something to do with job or work problems. Okay. So we know that the number of hours required to finish a job varies inversely as the number of persons on the job. So let's take the number of hours as our t, or time. So that will be equal to k over the number of persons. So let us write it as p. Okay. So the next step is to find the constant for k. So the first step is to find the value of k. So we know that if you have, so this is actually given, this part, if 8 persons required 9 hours to finish the job. So our 8 persons will be our P. So that is 8. The 9 hours will be the time. So that's 9 equals k over 8. So what we're going to do is to cross multiply 9 and 8. So k is equal to 72. Okay. So our equation here will be t equals 72 over p. Okay. Now the question here is, how long should it take for 24 persons? Okay. So we have to look for the time wherein there are 24 persons involved. Okay, so from here, so this is our variation equation. So the next set will be, P is 24. So how long would it take to finish a particular job? So you have t that is equal to 72 over p, which is 24. So you just divide 72 by 24. So the answer here will be 3 hours. So that is the final answer. So as you can see, based on the problem, since you have 24 persons rather than 8 persons, so the number of hours required to finish the job will be shortened. That is for 3 hours. Okay. So let us have sample problem number 2. Sample problem number 2. Find the variation constant in the equation of variation where y varies inversely as x, given y equals 24 and x equals 0.3. Find y if x is equal to 3.6. Find x if y is equal to 1.8. So we are actually looking for two different problems here. But first, let us have the equation. So you have y varies inversely as x. So if we're going to translate it, you have y varies inversely as x. So that's y equals k over x. So the next step is again to find the constant, which is our k, using the given values y equals 24 and x is equal to 0.3. So you just substitute or plug in the values of x and y. So you have 24 is equal to k over 0.3. So you just cross this, cross multiply to get k. So 24 multiplied by 0.3. So that is 7.2. So this is now our variation constant. And then to solve for the equation variation, you just rewrite the equation. We can place it here. So you have y equals 7.2 over x. So this will be our equation of variation. Okay. Then we can now answer these two problems. We have the first one. Find y when x is 3.6, or if x is 3.6. So using the equation of variation, y equals 7.2 over 3.6. So you just divide 7.2 by 3.6. So our y will be 2. Okay. Find x. The next one is you're going to find x if y is equal to 1.8. So again, using the equation y, but y is 1.8 equals 7.2 over x. So we can cross multiply 1.8 by x, giving us 1.8x equals 7.2. And then just divide both sides of the equation by 1.8. So x now will be, you can cancel this one, 1.8. And then on the other side, you have 7.2 divided by 1.8. So the answer is 4. Okay. So that is the final answer. Next, we have our last sample problem, number 3. Y varies inversely as x. If y equals 12 when x equals 6, find y when x equals 9. So again, using the inverse variation, y varies inversely as x. So we can solve now first for k. So you have y equals 12 if x is 6. So you just cross multiply 12 times 6. So our k will be 72. So our equation will be y equals 72 over x. So we're going to look now for y when x is 9. So when x equals 9, so that will be y equals 72 over 9. So your y will be equal to 8. So that is how inverse variation works. You just write first the equation, then solve for the constant, write the equation, and then solve for whatever the missing variable is. Okay, so hopefully it is already clear to you the topic of inverse variation. And thank you for watching. You can comment your questions down below. Then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Sir Jello. So thank you very much and have a good day.